Welcome in, seeing you ass eaters to the Ass Eaters Pod. You got a couple ass eaters on this ass eaters pod for some ass eaters. Yeah. Um, we're getting into it. It is time for the Final Four, baby. Final Four in the toilet bowl, Final Four in the playoffs. We have some eliminations. Our dearly parted Aurea couldn't show his face, so we brought it to you guys for you guys. We I wanted to stare into those cold dead eyes as I tell him to go fuck himself and I will fuck his mother and his fantasy team another time. So that's an intro. Let's get the fuck into it. Nick, how did those playoff and toilet bowl matchups last week go?
Yeah. Simply put here, um, I think Oria said it best. I'm very thankful for the bye last week. We put up a respectable 115, but definitely shout out Jacoby Myers for those last 10 points there from the Raiders defense and a couple other heroic plays. It was not a good week, but 115 is not bad at all. Meanwhile, Sam with the other bye drops 159. It is very unfortunate that it was not able to be um, put elsewhere. So that's the buys. We'll see how the buy teams do this week. Um, but then you go into the toilet bowl, and you got Sam Akers versus Carter for one of them. And Sam, good for Sam. Well, solid 135 with Christian McCaffrey getting 25, Jalen Waddle getting 20, Tua getting 18 for that nice little stack right there. Unfortunately, even with Zay Jones 34 and Deontay Johnson's 20, Carter only puts up 111, one of his better showings, but unfortunately, not enough. Now for the other consolation toilet bowl, bada bing, bada boom bullshit. Dan, holy shit, Dan, way to come alive. Josh Allen, 35, AJ Brown, 27, David Montgomery, 24. That is what I am talking about. That is legitness. As that one kid with the helmet and the buck tooth would say. 146 is definitely solid, and we wish we saw that earlier in the year. Meanwhile, Cole, his grit is no gritty. James Conner, only person with grit. Cordell Patterson got 12, and that's his like RB one or two, I think, especially if Jonathan Taylor going, which he actually benched. That was kind of funny. He accidentally benched Jonathan Taylor, which actually ended up helping him. Um, but Cordell Patterson, not only is he losing his role as RB1, he now is forced into a running back role on Cole's team. He has a very realistic possibility of finishing last in this league to complete the Giles sandwich for last place. But who knows? We'll see what happens here. Um, yeah, so that's the two toilet bowl games. Ryan and Will sucks for Will, but Ryan sneaks a dub there. Even with Trevor Lawrence popping off. Sorry, Will. R.I.P. Um, now Trevor and Oria. Oria died a painful death, losing 135 to 158. Shout out Kirko Cousins and Jay Jettas for absolutely balling the fuck out with 32 and 30,
Comeback mode,
bringing
baby. Comeback mode.
call that shit Kim Kardashian for how much it was the comeback mode. But yeah, no, Trevor just absolutely popped the fuck off. Even George Kittle found his way into the end zone once or twice. So that was very good for him. Like I said, Oria, Michael Pittman Jr., good play, just not good enough with only 19. Um, yeah, even I will say you got Mike Evans over Travis Etienne, right? So that was cool. And yeah, that's that. So Trevor moves on. He will be facing Adam and I. That is good. And then finally, AJ's beautiful run runs out. Not gonna lie, I was very scared of playing AJ. I think he was the team I was most afraid for in this playoffs besides Sam and Trevor, but mainly Sam and AJ. And he just ran out. He only got 120. Devontae Adams absolutely sold. But Latavius Murray with 21, Dawson Knox with 21. Welcome back, Dawson Knox at the incontestant tight end. And Justin Fields, even getting hurt, still put up 23. Good for him. But Brandon won at what cost? That cost would be Jalen Hurts with 34.7. Now he's got to go up against Sam with no Jalen Hurts. Has to start Gardner Minshew, which ultimately affects Devonta Smith, who scored 17.6 this week. Shout out Dalvin Jones getting that 63-yard screen pass, giving him 27 points. But yeah, so now we're looking at a semifinals of Brandon versus Sam, Trevor versus Adam and I. And I don't know if we mentioned it before, but we talked about it briefly in the pod group chat. Um, yeah, this is for the first time we're gonna see a new winner. So good for us. Still in the playoff hunt. And yeah, back to Trevor.
Yes, amazing recap there, sir. Yeah, I stuck to the important teams left, unfortunately. So those of you in the toilet bowl in the constellation bracket, I don't really care which of your players blew up or not. It's irrelevant at this point. I am still in the playoff race, so I can still talk shit. I was. It's been 3 years. It's it took a while for me to get here, and I'm gonna enjoy it. So we are moving straight into the MVPs of the week. Um, Up and down. There's only two matchups, and there's so many good plays. Round one of the playoffs was truly, truly exceptional. So we have, let's see, every single quarterback except for one scored 30 plus. Mahomes, 32.7. Hurts with 3 rushing touchdowns, 34.7. And Kirk Cousins, as I said, comeback mode, baby, 32.4. Really, truly carried up at the top. Only one wide receiver that I found worth mentioning, Justin Jefferson, baby. He's everywhere. He is my everything. Wide receiver one on the year, 30.3 points in round one. Really, really carrying me. Couple running backs here. Also part of that Vikings comeback, Dalvin Cook, 27 points for Brandon, carrying him to the victory as well. And then a couple, sorry, forgot to mention Derrick Henry and Oria's losing effort also gave me a fucking scare against shit. Oh, yeah, the Chargers' terrible run defense. So, yeah, Derrick Henry, 26.3 points. And then two tight ends worth mentioning here. My very own George Kittle, sweet, sweet 2 touchdown, 25.3 points for me. And AJ in the losing effort played a very, very respectable Dawson Knox, 21.8 points from Josh Allen, that connection in Buffalo. And now, as I said, this is like crazy amounts of points scored. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players over 25 points in just 2 matchups. Really came to play. And for the poverty plays, not that many. My cutoff was under 10 points, so single digits scored. And, normally don't talk about kickers or defenses, but I got to highlight when a defense goes negative. The Buffalo Bills, -2 points for Brandon, I want to say. Not sure. Fantasy defense scoring isn't really indicative of what the team defense actually played like, but it is what it is. And yeah, we have one tight end. Thankfully, he was played against me, Tyler Conklin, only one catch for 9 yards. Truly disappointing for Oria. And really, the main reason that AJ lost, Devontae Adams, only 4 for 28 for 6.8 points on the week. Really big letdown. Nick Chubb, um, 99 yards on the ground, 0 catches, 0 touchdowns. So 9.9 points just barely made the cutoff for me. That's what he is. He can have a great game in real life and he doesn't get the fantasy production because that's just how it works. I was hyping up Isaiah Pacheco. Um, didn't realize that Jerick McKinnon was just going to take everything. So Pacheco with the fumble, only 8.7 for me. A little disappointed there, but yeah, that's it for the poverty plays. So everybody else in the two main playoff matchups did fairly well. And that is all for me. On to, I believe, some previews. What do we have looking forward to in the next round, Will?
Preview time, baby. All right, let's get into it. Your boy is back. Not a lot of energy, but he's gonna make it work. First matchup, we got Trevor versus Nick and Adam. Let's unpack this. I really think this is gonna come down to both of your teams, I would say, have one fairly large hole. And I think whichever one of you can plug that hole, just put a nice big old butt plug in that hole and fuck it to death,
Pause.
you will win. Trevor, RB2, Isaiah Pacheco. I know he's been putting up okay-ish numbers. I would not call that a championship squad. I would
All
not
right,
call Isaiah
just for the
Pacheco.
record, my running back two is most likely Ramondre, Isaiah Pacheco, and my flex. Sort of probably more how it plays out, but that's just
All right, your flex sucks. Isaiah Pacheco. That's
all
our
right.
hole. We'll put him where we want to put him. Call him what you want to call him. Put whatever hat you want to put on.
Fuck it.
That's your one hole to a championship team. Can he perform? We'll see. Nick and Adam. I'm not gonna lie, I've never even fucking heard of this tight end that you have starting in the semifinals. I don't know if there's something I'm missing.
He's a dog though.
Maybe. He put up some good numbers, but you can't put up a no-name tight end and expect to win a championship. Now, your roster around it is fucking amazing. It's great. It's lovely. So I think it's really coming down to if Nick and Adams tight end, whoever the fuck he is, can put up more than 10 points, they win. If Isaiah Pacheco can put up more than, let's say, 13 points, I think Trevor wins. I think that's what it's going to come down to in the end. I think you both have pretty good roster stacked around it. Those are my predictions. And I will make the prediction that, drum roll please, Nick and Adam pull the upset and go into the championship. But I wouldn't say that's a lock by any means. Preview numero 2. We have Brandon versus Sam Coltisco. I really hate Sam's team. I don't know how he made it this far. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe that's why I'm in the consolation bracket right now. But I love Brandon's team. He's starting Gardner Minshew because Jalen Hurts got hurts at the wrong time. May prove to not to be great, but I believe in Brandon's team. I think he's just too much talent in that roster all around. He's getting healthy in other places at the right time. It's really a problem with two QBs. Both have terrible QBs. So I would say if we're looking at the rest of the team, let's give it to Brandon. Brandon, I think is going to blow the roof out. I think he's going to blow the water out. I think Brandon is going to be representing the left side of the bracket for the championship. But who knows? Sam somehow always puts up good numbers. I don't know. Doesn't make sense. Those are the championship previews. Now we'll turn it back to Trevor for the next segment.
Yes. And even though I roasted the guys in the toilet bowl earlier, I am gonna preview the matchups. So throwing you guys an olive branch there. And yeah, we have two teams who have marked themselves safe from the Waffle House Challenge in the losers bracket. Ryan and Dan from winning last week in the top of the bracket for Ryan and moving up to the top of the bracket for Dan. They cannot fall to the toilet bowl matchup in week 17. They are safe. That leaves the final four of Sam A versus Will and the twin matchup, part 3 on the year, Carter versus Cole, the bottom two of all of our power rankings for so long. This is, we really hoped that this was going to be the actual toilet bowl matchup, but this kind of feels more like whoever loses this is going to be favored to then lose the toilet bowl the next week. We're playing backwards. You're favored to lose in the toilet bowl. So yeah, we're gonna preview a little bit. The lines here are very small. I'm sorry, the over-unders here are very small. Sam Akers, the highest point projection from these four teams at 115.2. And yeah, we're going to start with Sam A versus Will. So, as I said, 115.2, the projection for Sam Akers versus a lowly 105.9 from the very banged up and poorly constructed Will's team. So, only two players projected 19 or more for Sam Akers, but those are big two players. Tua, the ability to go off any single week, and the overall running back. Let me check here. 3, Christian McCaffrey. Shame to see him playing in the toilet bowl and not in the actual playoffs, but how the cookie crumbles sometimes. And a couple poverty plays on his team potentially. Drake London is still a starter on this team, and that is kind of hard to believe. He's done nothing to prove that he should still be starting. Only projected 10.1. That is his biggest weak point. Evan Ingram looks to stay hot, though, as a little upside play there. And yeah, overall, Sam Akers is sitting in the best position. Quite frankly, he won last week to move up to the middle. Another win this week would mark him safe. But Will looks to take that immunity instead. Will is only projected 105 points, as I said. No real stars anymore on this team. Trevor Lawrence is the highest projected player, 16.2 points, and it's not bad. Leonard Fournette, J.K. Dobbins, it's solid. T. Higgins, Christian Kirk, it's all right. It could get you somewhere, but I mean, you just got nobody that's going to score 25 points. You just don't. There's nobody here. So you have to hope that everybody has a good game and you aggregate your way and hope for a couple busts from the more volatile players on Sam's team. So it's really a style of a matchup of contrasting styles. We got the solid, safe versus the explosion or nothing on the other side. So, you know, this one really could go either way when you break it down like that. If Sam blows up, there's no way Will can keep up. And that's honestly how I'm going to predict it if we are doing the predictions here, which I kind of like doing. So, Will, you predicted me to lose. I'm going to predict you to lose. So, welcome to the toilet bowl, my friend. On to our next matchup. We have. Shit, I am not good at reading, apparently. Carter vs. Cole, the twin rematch, part 3. Even worse projections here. Cole is the favorite at 110.4, and Carter a measly 104.9. This is going to be a rough one here. I think I made enough fun of Carter's team last week, but let's tear it apart more. He's starting 2 players that are projected single digits. Michael Carter, the RB2 on this team. He's the RB2 on a real life NFL team that is projected to score like 17 points this week. The over under in that game is 37. I predict it's going to be an over, but it's still a very low scoring projection there. So not a good play. And Dalton Schultz in the tight ends position. Tight ends aren't as of high pedigree, but still not that great of a play. And 2 players 18 plus projected, so hopefully he can rely on his stars in Austin Eckler and Geno Smith. Yeah, that's really his only hope. Mari Cooper's been all right, but yeah, just a rough team in rough shape versus Cole on the other side. Another solid couple of stars up top. Justin Herbert, James Conner, and if Mark Andrews can remember how to play football again, he can do good things. But has been let's see, what's the stat I heard? Noah Fant, that is the tight end that has been better than Mark Andrews since week 6. Fun stat that I hear, through the grapevine. But yes, you'd be better off playing Noah Fant than Mark Andrews the past 8 weeks, that is. So, not great, but Cole's team still favored. We got a couple of decent plays. I like Olave. Christian Watson's been on fire. And for that reason, I'm gonna go with the favorite again. We're going chalk here. I just think that the teams projected to score 105 points are projected that way because they suck. So Carter, another loss in the toilet bowl, going to go up against Will is my projection or prediction there for that matchup. So a lot to look forward to in the Waffle House Challenge. So, gents, that is all I have for this section. Moving on to Sir Nick with the bets.
I was so on the Bills being under last week, and I could not have been more wrong. Shout out the Buffalo Snow Crew for figuring that out. But I'm back. I gotta buy Christmas presents for my siblings, as I'm sure you guys have to do some last minute Christmas shopping. And what else is gonna help more than these bets? First things first. You have a mediocre defense against a terrible defense. And because of that, give me the over 43.5 for Detroit and Carolina. That's just what I'm feeling. They held Pittsburgh to 24, and Pittsburgh is bad on offense. So imagine what this Detroit offense could do. Wow, I never thought I'd say that in a sentence, but here we are. Next up, we have Cincinnati -3 versus New England. And I just think Joe Burrow is too nice with it. We saw that 34 points unanswered. He's just a dog. So we'll see what happens there. I think that's going to be -3 versus a struggling Patriots team. Next up, we got Washington +7 versus San Francisco. This is my riskiest play. But the only reason I'm feeling confident with it is because Taylor Heineke can keep it a one possession game. That's what he's best at. Do I think he's a great quarterback? No. Do I think he's a good quarterback? Absolutely not. But he's a good game manager that could help keep a team close and could possibly win it. Because of that, I'm feeling the +7. Finally, RIP my man, Franco Harris. May his immaculate reception rest in peace. And because of that, the Steelers are coming out playing with honor, playing with fire, in honor of the immaculate reception, in honor of Franco Harris's life. Pittsburgh Steelers -2.5 over the Las Vegas Raiders. There's no other reason for this besides the honor of Franco Harris. But yeah, that's what I got. So I know it's a lot, but scared money don't make no money. As DJ Khaled once said, "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, can't put the blame on you. Fool me 3 times, fuck the peace sign. Load the chopper, let it rain on you." And with that being said, let's go to Will for his bets.
All right, thanks, Nick. I'm not kidding when I say you literally said 3 out of the 4 bets that I picked independently. So I guess that means that they are good picks. I also have the Bengals at -3. I think they're getting hot at the right time. That's really surprising anybody. I didn't have the over, but I did have Detroit with -2.5. I think they're going to cover that pretty easily. And then everybody knows the NFL is scripted, and because of that, Pittsburgh's going to cover this week. That's just what's going to happen. Now, for my bets of independent thought, I'm looking ahead to Monday night. The Colts are in such a sad shape that they're trotting out Big Dick Nick to replace Matty Ice. Yes, he got announced as the starter. For those of you who
Big
know,
Dick Nick, baby! Let's
Matty-
go!
There was a statue of Nick Foles, and that makes me happy. But anyway, the Colts are in shambles. I don't know why they have all these primetime games, but I think they are known for getting killed in them, so I think they're going to get trounced by the Chargers. I think 4.5 is a bit low. I think that's a pretty easy cover. So there is my bet for the week, and we will send it over to Trevor for his bets.
Yes, I also am in the same vein as everybody else. Well, not Nick, but as Will. So we continue this little train here. I'm also on the Lions -2.5 against the Panthers. Fun fact from my betting app: the Lions have the second highest season-long cover percentage of 75%. So good teams win, great teams cover. Let's go Lions. And for a little Christmas Eve afternoon action, I got the man, I've been looking forward to this game for quite some time. The Eagles versus the Cowboys. I am not going to make some crazy proclamation of Eagles fandom, but I am going to say the over under at 47 is a smash over. I believe this is dropped. I forget. I don't know, or I don't forget. I don't know what it was to begin with, but the line probably dropped since the Hurts injury. However, we have the best rushing attack in the NFL. Jalen Hurts is a big part of that, but still, we have a stable full of guys and the best offensive line in the league. I think we can still put up points. And Dallas has been talking shit for like 2 weeks now, so they're gonna come out ready to play as well. I think this is gonna be a very good game on Christmas Eve, so over 47 for that. And throw it back to Nick for a little pod parlay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have not missed a pod parlay yet. We have been on fire. Trevor with the huge touchdown call last week. This week we're gonna keep things nice and spicy for you. A little plus 485. First things first, we gotta talk about the game itself. Who's gonna win? We don't know, but the thing that we do know is Jaguars plus 1.5. We're feeling confident with it. It's going to be a close game. With this close game, it's going to be over 37.5 points. I think that's huge. We'll see what happens with that. But I mean, the Jets have a good front line, but Trevor Lawrence has been known to sling it out. Mike White, if he comes back in, he's been known to sling it out. Even Zach Wilson, he's been known to sling it out here and there. So that's going to be good. If it is Zach Wilson that does play, which I think looking at stuff I've seen that he is going to play, you're going to take the over for Garrett Wilson's yards, 54.5. The Jags don't really have a good secondary. It's just a all right team. But over 54.5. Zach Wilson loves that connection with Garrett Wilson. Wonder why, it might be a last name thing, but all three of those combined get you plus 485 odds. Like I said, we have not missed all year, so you don't want to miss this one. And that's really all we got for you guys today. Just a short, sweet pod. I'll give it to Trevor for what?
I still got the little draft.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Let's
You're
go.
right. All right,
Hold on.
back to
Don't take the
Back to-
stats, man.
Yeah, come on. You know I'm gonna do some crazy amount of research for no goddamn reason every single week. So let's fucking get into it.
yeah. Maybe you should research a better wide receiver too for your team this week. But
he fucking got hurt. What do you want me to do? He broke his finger.
oh, weird. Damian Pierce got hurt. You don't see me bitching and complaining about it.
I'm literally
Yeah, my whole fucking team got torn to shreds. You saw me complain about it once, but never since.
How am I complaining? Mans came at me for my wide receiver 2, who just got hurt. So my wide receiver 3 in my wide receiver 2 the week after. I'm not gonna quite have it figured out yet. I'm not superhero. Why are we coming at me?
Because we're playing each other.
I was more talking to Will, taking.
I just wanted to be a part of it. I just wanted to include from the toilet bowl. I wanted to feel a part of the playoff action. That was the closest I got to the sun this year.
Yeah. Mans was hella close to the sun with that 4-0 start. That was you were soaking it in for a while there, my friend.
Cooper Kupp has let me down.
Yes. I was hovering over that draft button between him and Jefferson. I was real close.
Dude, 100% Jefferson. I took him in every league I could. I think
Speaking of
four.
Justin Jefferson, let's fucking get into it. I went back and looked at the draft. I went through the first 6 rounds and gave you a best pick and a fucking worst pick based on points per game. So let's fucking go. Round 1, we're going to kick it off hot. We're going to kick it off with the overall wide receiver 1, Justin Jefferson at the 5th pick by yours truly, 23.4 points per game. No other skill position player has exceeded that. He is him. I also want to shout out Austin Eckler, the pick right before, as the running back 1 on the year, 22 points per game for Carter. To the worst picks for the first round, I did 2. The rest of them is just 1 of each. But first round, obviously the most important. So Jonathan Taylor at the 101 was a huge disappointment this year. Only RB 26, a couple injured games, but still, when he's healthy, averaging 13.3 points per game. Terrible by Cole. And Najee Harris, running back 15, drafted in the first round, kind of sucks. He's been healthy the whole year, so his points per game is down at 12.4. Into the second round, best pick of the year, Travis Kelce, Sam Coltisco, overall tight end 1, 19.8 points per game. Fun fact, tight end 2, TJ Hawkinson, averaging 11.6 points per game. So that is a difference of 8 points per game. When you have Travis Kelce, you can guarantee that you're going to win that matchup that week by an average of 8 points a game. Insane. And the worst picks of this round, I threw Keenan Allen in here. I know he was injured for a while, but when he's been healthy, not exactly the best pick. Overall, wide receiver 58. And I, if you don't like that, if you don't like the injured part of it, threw in Deebo Samuel, who, while he was healthy the first 12 weeks of the season, only averaging 13.7 points per game. Currently wide receiver 28. Disappointment. Into the third round, Dan made the best pick here with AJ Brown, the wide receiver 5 on the year. I love AJ Brown so much. Yes. And the worst pick is Kyle Pitts, to no one's surprise by Cole. The tight end 28 on the year after being drafted to be the tight end 3. Obviously, he's been hurt for a couple weeks, so he finished maybe tight end 20 or so, but still terrible. Into the fourth round, Nick, go ahead and start celebrating. Josh Jacobs, best pick of that round, the running back 2. Honestly, one of the best picks in fantasy this year. Truly a league winner as the dead zone running back. And quite honestly, I don't think I would have touched him until at least the 6th round. You took him early. You said, yeah, I want him. And it fucking paid off. So shouts out to you. And the worst pick of that round, Cam Akers by AJ. The 0 RB strategy that he didn't try to make because he took a running back in the 4th round who did absolutely nothing. 6.4 points per game, the running back 52. He's done nothing. I mean, he dropped him, right? He had to give up. He was doing nothing. He almost got kicked off the fucking team. So terrible pick there. Into the 5th round, best pick, the quarterback 2, Patty Mahomes, 25 big ones per game. Truly incredible season again from, future GOAT himself, Mr. Mahomes. And I would like to point out that the pick right before him was Hunter Renfrow, 6.4 points per game. The wide receiver 114. Great pick, Cole. Just great. Loved it. It did just so well this year, didn't it? In the 6th round, Amon-Ra, the sun god himself, the wide receiver 6 this year, 17.8 points per game. We thought it was just a crazy stretch run last year. Nope, that's just him. He's just going to get 10 catches a game because he's crazy. And the worst pick that round, Chase Edmonds, very high hopes. He got like $10 million a year to play for the Dolphins, and he did nothing with it. He was the backup from day one. Yeah, we're going to have to end it there. I can't even go into the gems later in the rounds because we're fucking out of time. So thank you, fellas, for this beautiful pod evening, and good luck to the rest of the ass eating league. Final fours, baby. Let's go. Adios. Fuck you, Nick. Fuck you, Adam. Fuck Oria. Ass eaters out, baby.
Fuck Oria.